Good evening. Welcome to another Yin Yoga Sleepy Style with myself, Claire. Tonight we are going to be taking it very slow, but doing some twisting, getting into that waist, working into the abdomen a little bit with our Yin. We're going to do a little bit of movement with our Yin, but very gentle. It's coming down onto our mats this evening, coming into seated, however that looks for you. Taking your breath in, lengthening through the spine, as though somebody's just tugging on that thread coming out the crown of the head. Breathing in, lengthening through that spine. Exhaling and staying lengthened. Maybe activating the core just a little, pulling it in slightly. And closing the eyes down if that feels good. Just letting the back here settle into a straight position. We're so used to hunching over, being seated in a really scrunched up, rolled up spine position. Breathing in. If you wish, you can start your deep belly breathing here. Inhale, let that belly float out the way. Exhale, pulling belly back in. Just checking in with the shoulders, letting them fully relax, letting the arms relax, the wrists relax, hands and fingers all softened. Inhale. And bringing that awareness to the waist this evening. Allowing yourself just to feel into maybe what the right side of the waist feels like, what the left side of the waist feels like, maybe front and back. So maybe thinking about where the abdominal muscles are within that waist or the back muscles. And just gently taking the awareness there and checking in. You can take 3 more deep breaths. One more. And on that last exhale, we're going to gently come back onto our mats, down on our back. Coming down the way in any way that feels good for you. Allowing yourself to settle the hips and settle the shoulders. And you can straighten the legs here. We're going to come into our Bandhanasana to start with. So we're going to just take the hips over to the left slightly so we can take the feet towards that bottom right-hand corner of the mat. Arms up overhead, torso and hands towards that top right-hand corner. Allowing yourself just to rest there, relax there, prior to extending our beautiful crescent moon here. Again, feeling that from the waist down that left-hand side. And if it feels good, crossing one ankle over the other. Taking one wrist with the opposite hand. Deep breaths. Letting everything relax, letting the mat support you, and feeling into that waist. Three more breaths here. Uncrossing those ankles when you're ready. Releasing the wrists and then bringing feet, torso and hands back to center, bringing the arms down if that feels good. Taking a moment here Just to recenter, realign the full body. And taking a few breaths, nice and slow. And repeat, so taking the hips to the right this time, so opening up space on the left for those feet to come towards that bottom left-hand corner of the mat. Arms up overhead, arms and torso towards that top left-hand corner of the mat. Taking that moment just to let everything settle. Taking that awareness to the waist, this time on the right-hand side of the body, feeling that sensation all down the right side body here. And when you're ready, crossing an ankle over the other, taking a wrist in the opposite hand, only if that feels good. And please play about with which ankle feels better over which. My knees are being a little bit sticky and twingy at the moment, so actually crossing the opposite ankle than I would normally do feels a lot better for my knees. So please play about with that and find what feels best for you. Once you find that beautiful position that the body likes, relax, let everything go. Let the mat support you. And you can close the eyes. Let that breathing take over, really feeling it from the belly, from the waist. Deep breaths here. And we'll take 3 more deep breaths here in our Bananasana. When you're ready, uncrossing those ankles to start with, easing off, letting the feet come back to center, releasing wrists, bringing arms down, torso back to center. And again, just letting yourself sink into the mat, all centered, getting the hips and the shoulders, the legs all settled once more. When you're ready, bending the knees, bringing soles of the feet onto the mat. You may wish to just flatten out that small of the back. So it's a kind of tilting motion, letting the small of the back press down into the mat. And we're going to take left leg, cross it over our right. We're going to come into our twisted roots. So you may wish to have a pillow here. If you do, you can pop it to the right, just by your legs as we allow the knees to come down, floating down towards the floor on that right hand side. You can also move so more of that, the outside of that right hip is on the mat as you roll over, letting the knees come down onto that pillow. Arms can be taken out to the side or bent at the elbows, hands up around the head, cactus arms, or even right hand on that left knee if that still feels good. Hands could just be down by the sides or over the belly and the waist. Entirely your choice where those hands feel comfortable. Again, listening to the body. Feeling it in the waist here. Breathing deeply. And we'll take 3 more breaths here. Two options for coming out of our twisted roots. You can either bring the knees back up to center and then uncross, or if you find it easier to uncross at the side, then bring both the knees back up to center. Hugging the knees to the chest here just to let the small of the back release. You can always rock side to side here or turn small circles with the knees. Just letting any sensation that's built up in those back muscles, just letting it release. When you're ready, returning soles of the feet to the mat, knees still bent, pointed to the sky. This time crossing right leg over left. We're going to repeat. If you wish and you were using a pillow, please feel free to swap it to the left-hand side by the legs. And when you're ready, breathing in, exhaling, letting those legs, those knees gently float down towards that pillow or the floor on the left-hand side. You can roll over so you're more on the outside of that left hip if that feels good. Once you're happy with the legs, determining if you wish to send the arms out to either side, bend at the elbows, cactus, or arms up by the head, or down by the body over the belly and waist, or even a left hand on that right knee. Finding out which way, which position the arms enjoy on this side. And again, feeling into that waist, feeling that sensation, maybe through the thigh, maybe into the glutes, maybe into the waist here. Feeling the twist through the torso. And just letting everything soften and relax. Letting the mat cradle and hold you. Deep breathing. Beautiful, slow, deep breaths. And twists are fantastic for the digestion. So if that belly starts to gurgle a little bit or starts making any noises, don't worry, welcome those in. It's just the digestive system wakening up, activating a little bit with these beautiful twists. Activating the waist, activating the abdomen. Digestion will also be stimulated. 3 more deep breaths here. When you're ready, letting those knees come back to center and uncrossing, or uncrossing and bringing knees back to center, whichever method feels best for you. Pulling knees to chest when you arrive at center, flattening the small of the back out. You can rock side to side if that feels good. Just letting the back settle.
Again, when you're ready, bringing soles of the feet back down to the mat. We're going to keep feet and ankles together here, keeping knees together. We're going to do a little bit of a dynamic movement here. So I invite you to tighten your abdomen. You can even use your hands feeling into the abdomen here. And what we're going to do is we're going to let the knees slowly come down towards the right and then fluidly come back to center and down over to the left. So this is a continuous motion. We're not stopping. We're just going to continuously let the knees move from one side to the other. Keep going. Hands can be by the sides or even out to the sides if that feels good. If you feel you want a little bit more of a stretch through the chest and the shoulders. One more to the right, one more to the left, and back to center. Again, pulling knees to chest if that feels good. So letting the small of the back release any sensation. If your feet are not already in the air, if you've not pulled knees to chest, pull the feet up off, and we're going to bring the legs so that knees are over hips and then shins are parallel to the mat. So basically creating this right angle, 90-degree angle with the knees. We're going to keep feet and knees together again, and we're going to repeat. We're going to do this fluid movement to the right, to the left, and repeat. So again, hands can be at the sides, by the body or out to the side. So we're going to gently come down. This is a twist, so try and twist as much as possible at the waist as you can. Arms out to the side may also give you a little bit of leverage. If you need, you don't need to go all the way down to the floor. We're working those abdomen muscles, so feeling them working here, twisting one way and then the other. If you can, getting all the way over to the outside of the hip as the knees come down, checking in that we're not pulling the knees further to the chest, we're keeping them over the hips at that right angle. Check when you come up, right angle in the center. Right angle in the center. You might find that you start to almost walk off or down your mat as we're doing this twist. Don't worry about it. Keep going, that beautiful fluid movement. We're going to do one round more. So once to the right, once to the left, and back to center. If you want, you can come back to the center of your mat if you've had a little walk. Pulling knees to chest once more and just relaxing for a moment. You can always rock side to side or massage into the small of the back, whichever feels best. Breathing deeply here. We're going to do one more dynamic movement. This time, keeping the feet in the air, we're going to straighten the legs out and take them to about 45 degrees. So again, we're really using these tummy muscles. You can take the arms wide if that feels good. Again, gives you a little bit of leverage. Or you can also put them down by the sides, but I find having them out to the sides is a little bit easier. And we're going to just roll so that we're taking the feet towards the floor. Now just take it halfway. We're not going all the way to the floor this time. And then over to the left, about halfway to the floor. So just feeling that extension through the legs. The legs are about 45 degrees. Over to the left, right. If you can take it lower towards the floor, go for it, but you don't need to. You can take it all the way to the floor, you can, but you might find that the stomach muscles protest a little bit. So stick with about halfway to the floor, halfway to the floor. You're feeling it a little bit more. We're going to do one more round, once more to the right, once more to the left, and bending knees, pulling knees into the chest. If you've gone for a little walk, come back into the center of your mat, hugging knees to the chest. Beautiful. Just being aware of that waist now, how it feels, all the beautiful twists that we've been doing, that gentle flowing dynamic movement, warming up some of those muscles around the waist and in the abdomen. Now, if you've got your pillow to hand, we're going to come into our supported bridge. So folding short edge to short edge, still on our backs, knees bent, feet with soles flat on the mat. Placing that pillow folded edge towards the hips, open short edges at the heels, feet hip width apart, and pull those heels in, even with the pillow in place, as close to the hips as you can get it. We're going to prepare, breathing in, breathing out, tilting that pelvis. This is our preparation for peeling our spine off the mat. When you're ready, extending that tilt of the pelvis up through the spine, so vertebra by vertebra, you're pulling it off the mat slowly, slowly, pulling your pillow into the small of the back and the hips, and letting your hips settle back down. Checking in with the feet, soles of the feet flat on the mat, feet and knees hip width apart, no knees slumping in or slumping out. Keep the knees above the ankles. Arms resting down by the sides of the body. And just tuck that chin subtly, so just allowing an elongation of the back of the neck. Beautiful deep breaths here. We're working the back of the waist here. We often think about the waist as the side or the front body, but we have a back of our waist as well. The front body supports the back body supports the front body, so we have to work both. Beautiful deep breaths here. Really let that deep belly breathing take over. Lots of space for belly expansion here in our bridge. Take 3 more deep breaths here. That last exhale, working the hands in so you can take hold of that folded part, that bottom of the pillow, pulling the heels in again towards the hips, keeping feet hip width apart, preparing with our pelvic tilts. When you're ready, peeling the spine up, pushing that pillow out from underneath, and then one by one rolling back down the spine, tailbone very last to come back into contact with the mat. And set that pillow to the side. And we're going to keep knees and feet together, and you can do this with or without the pillow at the side. I'm going to do it without, and just allow the knees to come down on that right hand side. So coming into our closed twist, arms spread out to either side. And since we've already been doing quite a few twists, I invite you to take the gaze out to the left hand. So this extends the twist all the way up through the spine. From the tailbone up through the small of the back, all the way to the neck. Deep breaths here. Really feeling that waist, so bringing that awareness to the waist, really feeling that twist, feeling that extension, feeling that relaxation in the waist, still allowing that deep belly breathing to take place. Three more breaths. Exhaling, bringing head back to center, bringing knees back to center. Again, knees to chest if that feels good. Releasing anything that's built up in the back. Rocking side to side with small circles for some massaging into those muscles. When you're ready, feet back to the mat. Ankles, knees together, repeating on the opposite side. If you were using a pillow, feel free to pop it on the other side and let those knees drift down to the left, letting them settle. And again, taking the gaze out to that right hand this time. Getting that twist all the way up through from tailbone, through the small of the back, through the top of the back and into the neck. Closing the eyes if that feels good here. And letting the whole body relax downwards in this open twist. We'll take 3 more breaths here. And on the final exhale, bringing the head back to center to begin with, then followed by the knees, hugging knees to chest. Final time if that feels good. And when you're ready, letting the legs straighten, placing pillow behind your head, adding extra layers. We're going to come into our relaxation, our Shavasana following tonight's beautiful poses. Into our final pose, allowing ourselves to come down under our blanket, cuddling up, relaxing into our Shavasana by letting our breath go, letting that deep belly breathing go, Closing the eyes, getting comfortable. Just bringing our awareness to that belly button. Letting the belly still as much as it wishes to. If it's still moving, that's absolutely fine. Just let the body take over. Just let the awareness hang in and around the waist area. Feeling the sensations, checking in with it. Almost letting the awareness of the rest of the body fall away to focus just on your waist. Really relax. When you're ready, just allowing some movement to come into the hands and the feet. Starting small, working up so that they're bigger. In circles or just random motion, whatever feels best for your body. When you're ready, curling up on your side, whichever side feels best. Taking a pause here, just a moment to gather your breath, gather your thoughts, gather your movements. When you're ready, pushing up, coming into seated. Still cuddled up in your blanket. Just coming so that you are now upright. Once again, allowing hands and arms and shoulders to be relaxed and seated. Your eyes to remain closed for the moment. Breath deep but still automatic. And if it feels good in this part of your practice, bringing palms of the hands together in prayer position in front of the heart center, bowing the head over the hands. You can almost pop the tops of the fingers just underneath the chin if that feels good. Bowing over the hands, giving thanks for slowing down, for gentle awareness, and for working that beautiful waist of yours, side and side, front and back. Beautiful twists, really connecting with this part of the body. Namaste.